Welcome to Gift of Life, the Organ Transplant Podcast. These are the stories of those who have received, given, and who are waiting for the gift of life, organ transplantation. Now here's your host and heart and kidney recipient, BJ Odom.
And welcome to the Gift of Life, the Organ Transplant Podcast, a place where we journey through the incredible world of organ transplantation. And I'm your host, BJ Odom. In fact, I had a heart transplant in 2003 and a kidney transplant in 2015 because the meds I were taking, well, they kind of took out my kidneys, and in 2015 needed a kidney transplant. But still, I am thankful each and every day for those wonderful organ donors out there, rather living, and of course the families who sacrifice after their loved ones have gone and they've decided to let their organs save other people's lives. That is just amazing. And I've had some amazing stories on this podcast from families who have done exactly that. And of course, it's obviously, it's a very sad and trying time. But yet there are some rewards as they see how, the other patients have went on in life and accomplished great things. So thanks to each and every donor family. They are so important in this world of organ transplantation. And this week, as you can tell, as I'm rambling on, I have no guest. So I am going to, kind of give you a little synopsis of what we've been doing here on the podcast, and also, what's been going on in my life. As an organ transplant recipient, I've said it so many times, and I'll say it again, how thankful we are. But yet it's not a perfect journey. There are many bumps, trials along the way, and of course, we still come back and say, if I had to do it all over again, would I? And the answer is usually 100% yes, I would. And I'm still going through, some issues every now and again. Just last week, just out of nowhere, went into AFib for about 3 or 4 days, and they upped my medicine. And of course, the AFib went away, and hopefully it will stay away. But this is not my first AFib bout that I've had. But I know people, that have normal hearts. They have these issues every now and again too. So I battle through. Of course, the biggest thing I think that all of us transplant patients find down the road is with a compromised immune system. It just seems like those skin cancers are constantly popping up. I go to the dermatologist every 3 to 4 months. They're going to biopsy 4 to 5 things, and knock on wood, but usually at least 3 of them need to be cut and taken out. And hey, it's the way it is. There's nothing to change that. Do I love it? Do I like doing this every 3 or 4 months? No. But hey, I'm alive. I'm with my family. I get to see my grandkids. It's a great experience. And like I said, I would not give it up or change one thing. Had to go into dialysis, had to end up getting a kidney transplant after my heart transplant. None of it. Would I change it? Would I prefer that it was a lot smoother and my life was perfect? Yes. But I just enjoy each and every day to the most that I can. And again, thankful for those that have been donors, rather living or deceased. We so much appreciate it. And it's just so hard to say. And, you just want to shout it to the top of the roof. Thank you. So once again, it is much appreciated. Without having a guest this week, I'm in a way maybe a little happy because we're getting ready to put the wraps on season 1. We are now on episode 24. Next week will be episode 25, and we're going to call it a season. And then, of course, we'll be back. I think we're going to take a few weeks off, and then hopefully we'll be able to come back with some more guests, because that seems to be my problem right now. I'm trying to find guests, people that want to share their story. I know there's a lot of us out there that enjoy sharing our stories and letting others know how important organ donation is. But I'm looking for you. So if you listen to this podcast and you have a story, or you're a transplant patient, maybe you are the person who donated a kidney to a friend, or maybe an absolute stranger, love to hear from you. It's easy to get in touch with us. giftoflifepodcast@gmail.com. Again, that is giftoflifepodcast@gmail.com. Or you can go to our Facebook page. We have a Facebook page, and we'd love to hear from you there. Of course, we load all the episodes where you can find them. Of course, you can find them anywhere you find podcasts. We're on Apple, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Music. They're everywhere out there. So make sure you go looking at wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Of course, what helps us also to find more listeners, make sure you review and give us that 5-star review. It'll be so much appreciated. But again, we're always looking for guests. So maybe you are I know a lot of the people in the medical field kind of hesitate to go on a podcast. But if you're in the medical field, you're a patient, you're a donor family, we would so much like to share your story here. And we're easy to work with. We can do it right. We usually call you on the phone, set up the interview time, and kind of give you a little bit of, basically you're going to tell your story. So there's not a whole lot of prep work, but if you feel it that you'd like to share your story, please again get a hold of us. Once again, that email address, giftoflifepodcast@gmail.com. So let's talk a little about organ donation. It's a selfless act that involves donating organs, tissues, or cells to help save and improve the lives of others in need. Here are some key points about organ donation. Organ and tissues are donated after a person has died. In fact, they've got to be declared brain dead by 2 different doctors before they even can think about it. So don't worry about is the doctor going to save me? That's their number one job, is to save you, not to give up your organs so someone else can have them. Believe me, you may see that on television, but that's not the case. Now, this can include organs like the heart, which I have, lungs, liver, kidneys, pancreas, and intestines. Living individuals can donate, such as kidneys, part of a liver, lung, that's right, part of a lung, a pancreas, or intestine. Living donation is possible because the human body can function with only one kidney, a portion of a liver, and so forth. Other donations can save the lives of people suffering from organ failure. It can also significantly improve the quality of life for recipients by providing them with the opportunity of a renewed health and functions. Oh, that's good, right? Registering as a donor is easy. Individuals can register as a donor through national organ donation registries or by just obtaining when you renew your driver's license. Medical professionals evaluate both the donor and the recipient to ensure that compatibility of the organ will be safe, and not only for the person getting the organ, but they want to make sure that the person that is giving the organ, if you're a living donor, that your health is number one. So they're going to check you. It's almost, here's the best thing about, I guess, being a living organ donor. You get the most amazing physical along the way. And if there's anything at all wrong with you, unfortunately, they'll let you know. But for any reason, if it can't donate, they're not going to say, oh, let's get the organ, let's get the organ. They're going to tell you, well, these are some problems that you're having, and you yourself need to make sure that, you go get them checked out and, could save your life, actually. That's right. Being an organ donor, maybe you don't get all the way till the final day, but in the process, it can also save your life because you can find that there's other things that may be wrong that, well, you need to have looked at and maybe can be fixed, pretty easily, but you would have never known until maybe it became a bigger issue. So that's another, great thing. Some of the myths about organ donations, and these are common myths. surrounding organ donation, including concerns about medical neglect and the hospital. They're not going to take care of me. They need an organ donor. Religious objections. Now, most religions, almost all anymore, are right on board with organ donation. So don't worry about that. Misconceptions about age limits of donate. If you're healthy, you can donate at almost any age. And once you go, there's so many things. Maybe you do have like a bad kidney, or you do have a bad liver. There are other things that might be useful as far as, even skin, cells, believe it or not. So you can always donate something, even as you get into the older years. And yes, saving a life, one of the greatest things about being an organ donor, you can give a second chance to those suffering from organ failure. Donors have an opportunity to leave a lasting impact through the gift of life. And with the medical advancements, things are changing each and every day. So according to the U.S. Health Resources and Service Administration, over 100,000 people in the United States alone are waiting for organ transplants. Each day, approximately 20 people die while they're on the waiting list needed for organ transplants. By choosing to become an organ donor, you have the potential to save and improve the lives of others, leaving behind a powerful legacy of compassion and generosity. A heart transplant can have a significant impact on improving your quality of life, as I well know. So be an organ donor. I'll just say that. And again, we want to thank you for joining us here on Gift of Life. If you enjoy what you hear, there are plenty of episodes in which you can download. As I said, we're up to episode 24 right now. Next week will be episode 25. Then we're going to take just a little bit of a break. And, we'll be back in a few weeks, hopefully with a lot of guests. And again, if you know someone who's had a transplant or someone that's maybe in need of a transplant, we'd like to talk to them. We'd like to share our story and let them get to know a little bit more about the world of organ donation. As I said, hearts, kidneys, livers, lungs, pancreas, intestines, tissues, corneas, that's right, bone marrow, heart valves, blood vessels. Oh, you wouldn't believe all the things in there that you could give. Now, here's an important thing I do want to pass along, though. Obviously, you go to the driver's license, you put on your license, I want to be an organ donor. That's not the first thing they look at when they go looking. The first thing they'll do, they will ask your family, your closest next of kin. So why not have that conversation with them tonight? Say, hey, I know this isn't a fun topic to talk about, but if I would happen to be in a terrible accident and die tomorrow, would you please just make sure that my organs get donated? And by telling your family members that, it's going to help them along so much at the end, because they may be hesitant, or they may say, I don't know what he wanted. I know it was on his driver's license. Yeah, but is that what he really wanted? I don't think it was. So if you would, have that conversation with your family. And I thank you so very, very much. There is a big shortage of organs right now. Of course, medical science, like I said, doing some amazing things. Now, just as the other day, there was 103,650 people in all on the waiting list. 88,822 waiting for kidneys. Liver, 10,049. 830 waiting for a pancreas. There were 2,004 waiting for a kidney, pancreas. Hearts were at 3,298. 938 people needed lungs. And there was 33 people that needed both a heart and a lung. 203 intestines. Didn't know this, but there's 3 right now looking for a abdominal wall. A VCA heart and neck. That must be a valve or I don't know for sure, but there's 4 people waiting for that now. There's not, and whoa, this one shocks me. 9 people looking for a uterus. So those are just some of the things once you leave this wonderful world of ours that you can give. That's right, the gift of life. I must tell you, I really miss having a guest, but join us again next week. Another touching episode, Gift of Life, the Organ Transplant Podcast. And if you have a transplant story, we sure would like to share it for you and like to talk to you and get your take on this whole gift of life situation. Email us, giftoflifepodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, Gift of Life, the Organ Transplant Podcast. And until next time, I'm BJ Odom. Thank you so much for being a part of my journey. I appreciate it each and every day. And remember, you appreciate each and every day the extraordinary gift of life.